Okay, for lesson 2 we're going to move on to the profiles, and this would be the first job that the students would get marked on. And again, we're not going to be using a trowel, this is just the line's going to go up and we're just going to be running in along here. So just practicing the things that we learnt in the first lesson, how to hold your brick. Well, first of all I'll just mention the work area. So again, we've got the 2-foot space from your work area to your mortarboard and your materials, your bricks. So you're going to be, as I'm a right-handed bricklayer, my hand is going to be over my wall and my trowel hand is going to be over my mortar, and obviously my bricks are going to be that side as well. So this is how, again, we're going to stand. So we're going to be putting the line up, but before we do, we just make sure that these profiles are plumb. So the first thing was obviously make sure we're plumb there, and also plumb on the face, so we can see there, and it's the same on the other end. And we have to make sure obviously that the 2 profiles are spaced out. We're going to dry bond this first, but I've done it before just to make sure that this is obviously whole bricks. We don't want any cuts in here as we're doing obviously the basic skills. So the next thing I did, which you can see up here, is I marked a gauge. So all I'm going to do is hook my, what I call my profile blocks, because you don't want to be using these ones, because if you were to use this on any type of profile, when you pull the line tight, that moves around, and when it moves around, your line is not going to be on your profile, it's going to be pushed in, so you won't get a true reading on your line. So you see that? So this is why I make these little ones up myself. And you'll see that when this goes on here, it just fits nice and snug on the profile. So what we're now going to do is we're going to put the line up, we're going to dry bond the first course to make sure that we're happy that we are going to fit in, which I'm sure we will. And then after that, we're going to go through the processes of running in. Tie it up against there. Leave yourself a nice middle joint. One thing I must do is get my gloves on. And make sure we don't kill any spiders. You don't want to leave. Come on. That's lovely. So we're dry bonded. We're happy that we fit in. So we'll start laying. So now that we're dry bonded, we don't want to mess up our dry bond. So you've probably seen on the video that I have called dry bonding, that when you do your first course, you've taken all this time to make sure that it's going to fit in. So what I'll do is I will take one brick out, lay it, obviously keep these ones all where they are, so you know exactly how your bond is going to be, how you've set it out. I've seen bricklayers do it before, where they take a load out and then they carry on going, and when they get to the other end, they've either got huge joints or small joints, because obviously they haven't kept to what their dry bond is. So then they just have to roll everything when they're done. So just a little bit of, doesn't really take much longer, just to take one out, lay it, one out, lay it, one out, lay it. Okay, well, you'll see me do that first. Okay, so now we're running, we just want to have a little look to make sure that you can see that there's just a gap, and when you ping the line it should just vibrate like that. If a brick was touching it and you try to give it a little bit of a twang, you'd find that that would go dead, just like that. So that's why you give it a little flick like that and it'll just carry on vibrating. So what we're saying is that when you lay to the line, obviously you're using it for the height, but also you should be able to get like a note down the side and have that space all the way through. Because as soon as you touch the line, if you have a brick and you are just pushing out a little bit, then obviously your next brick you're going to lay and the line's not going to be right, but you're not really going to know that. That's one of the reasons why I don't like forward laying, because if you're forward laying, once you've laid these, then your back is on the ones that you've laid. So if you do have a brick that's slightly sticking out, you're not really going to see it. But when you're working backwards, you're all the time looking down at the ones you already laid. So if you sort of give the line a little bit of a twang as you're laying, think something's not right, you can automatically look right along the line and see if there's one or two bricks that you might need to adjust. But if they're behind you, you don't see it. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like backward laying. There are another two, so we'll go into them ones a bit later. So now we're going to raise the line up to the next gauge mark, start with a half, and what I will say is, I'll show you on the next one, when I put the bed down, I always pull it away from the profile. If that's a profile or a frame, if you put your bed straight up there, when you lay that brick, that mortar there wants to go out, and it can't go out, so it's going to start forcing its way up the profile. And sometimes you'll see bricklayers, when they take their profiles down, they've got all these mortar marks on here, and when you look on the end of the brick, obviously that mortar has stained the brick as well. Plus you've got to chop it out to then repoint it, so you're just making a lot of work for yourself. So when we do it, if you watch, I'll try and bring the camera around. When I put this first bed down, you'll see that I will splay that away, so when I tap that brick down, the mortar has got a void to go into. Okay, so I'll get the second course. Just splay that away from your profile, or if that was a frame, so just make sure you've got a void there. Thumb rolls away so it never touches the line, holds it back as we said before. Now what we're trying to do here is, we know that this edge was right last time, so we want to match this edge of this brick, the bottom edge of this, with the top edge of that brick, and also keep this just that paper width away from the line, so all four will be in the same line then. So that's where we're looking for. So now the first course was dry bonded. The second course, we don't have joints underneath the first course for us to keep these two, so we want to make sure that we keep half bond to this. So what I do is, as I'm running along, I'll use a half, and I'll put the half. I know this is a small wall. If this was a long wall, obviously this would be about 6 bricks along. But if you keep this edge of this half in line with the end of that stretcher, when you lay this one, make sure you have a joint there, and then that's going to keep you half bond. And then I move it along again, in line with that one. As I lay, make sure when I lay this stretcher, I've got a joint space there, and then that will just make sure that you're half bond all the way you go. But again, I wouldn't do it this close together. I'd do it probably every 6 bricks, and then if you've got any adjustments to make, you can make them as you're going along. So just for now, I'm going to go to this one. I'm pretty sure that I can get 2 bricks and they're going to be fairly good. up, hand at the back. Make sure that you're keeping that air space between the line and the brick. Iron these two up, and then your face plane will be smooth. Make sure we're half bond by laying this one, and making sure I've got a nice joint there, which I have, so I'm happy. Pushing down, and again this hand is doing that movement as we mentioned before. It's doing this movement, pushing down or pulling up, to make sure that these two points meet up or in line nicely there. I'm pretty sure that I'm happy to leave that one there now. A little bit too dry. If you get joints that fall out, make sure you have some dryish water to put back in. I do need to wet this mortar up a little bit more. So remember what we said, cut that away so that when I tap this half down, I can get the mortar to stick, I fill that little void up. Give it a push. Make sure you're happy that they line up. You're to the line and you've got that airspace apart. Ready for third course. Right, before I run this one in, I'm just going to wet my mortar up. So the third course obviously will follow the first, so we're just iron down, but what we should do, every 8 bricks, if you're on a long length, every 8 bricks should be plumbed, or a plumb point. So again, I know this is a very small length of wall, but I'll still do a plumb point in the middle just so you can see what I'm doing. And this is on 1 or 2 videos as well, but I'm going to pick this brick here, picking this edge, and I'm just going to plumb this up here, so keep that there. So when I come to lay my third one, I know that's going to be where it's going to end. Cut that away, hold it down in place. To touch it. Hold the back. Push it away. Now, should be to my plumb point there. I'm very happy with that. Hold on the back, little tap, make sure we're happy that we have a nice smooth face plane. If you do drop any mortar, pick up straight away. over the line, draw it away, under the line, long figure eights, cut your face, keep it away from your profile, thumb rolls away as you come to the line. Another bed. Under the line, cut it, and again you're cutting it so that you're keeping that joint nice and upright. Perp on as before. Bring your next bed. Away. Just keeping these all in line. So let's just show you a little bit closer up on what I'm doing here. Just cutting that away so that mortar can then move into that space if it wants to. Again, my thumb is there, rolls away, holding the back as we said before, and then if you can just push it down, but I am just going to give it a little bit of a tap. Again, we're looking for no more than 6 taps. And I'm looking down, I'm standing this way round, looking down my wall this way, so that I can eye these two up. I'll lay one more brick, and then we will just have a little look and show you what their face plane is like. So just perping up. And again, thumb moves away, because if you've got someone down the other end waiting to lay a brick or trying to lay a brick and you keep holding that line down, he will get frustrated, believe me. Right, so we're holding there, and as we said in the first video, just tap there and tap there. And again, this hand was just moving that brick to make sure that these two are in line as I stand over the top looking down. Right, okay, we'll just have a quick look at the face plane while we're here. Quite happy with that. So now we can see our panel is complete. Hopefully what we'll see here are full joints ready to be jointed up, no filling up needed. You can see the plumb points that we used on both courses to keep everything half bond, and we did have a little look a little while ago at how the face plane finished up, and I'm reasonably happy with that. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So again, that's the only time we use a level on this. This would be the first and second job that the students would get marked on, and when I was marking it, I'd be quite lenient because obviously this is a very fresh and all new skills, but hopefully you've picked up 1 or 2 little points from that. Just wanted to emphasize again that you don't put your mortar straight up against frames or profiles, because it will just push under there. The mortar's got nowhere to go. It's got the 2 ends to come out, but it's going to want to push that way. So when it pushes that way, it's going to push up your frame. So when you do take this over, if that's just a temporary profile, you'll take that away and you'll have all mortar stains on the end of your brick, and you have to chisel them off, and that does look horrible, and it takes time as well. So hopefully the next video will be the first time that we use our spirit level, and we will do a very small corner, 6 courses high. So that will be lesson 3.